Hi everyone, in this video we are going to learn how to write the discussion section research paper and the logic behind or logic that is to be used in writing the research paper or understanding the discussion section of a research paper. First, let us understand what is evidence and how the evidence forms the fact, how multiple evidences they form the fact, and how the different facts together they forms the knowledge in a scientific field. So, what is a fact and what is the evidence that we know? The subtle difference also we know. So, the raw data of experiments is called the evidence. So multiple such evidences they leads to make a statement which is called that statement is called truth or fact we can say. So when multiple such facts come from different observations or different evidences that will form the knowledge. So for example there may be experiments which have evidences on how the stress affects the sleep. So multiple studies reported that sleep reduces that stress reduces the sleep. So from this we can make a statement. That statement we may call it a truth or a fact. So that statement is that the stress reduces the sleep. So when many such facts are there, so some facts like there may be one fact that is stress reduces the sleep. There may be other things like other than the stress, there may be food intake may affect the sleep, or no type of food or calories in the food, or so such things may also affect the sleep. So all these facts together they form a knowledge. So in a knowledge we understand the relationship between the different facts, and we make a statement. Okay, or okay, we make a statement with respect to that field. Okay, we know that now we use present perfect tense to connect the past experiments to the present. So when we use the present perfect tense, that means so the results from the past studies have still relevance to the present research. So having relevance to present studies means that they provides a foundation for the present studies, or the past studies results they helps to continue the present research, further research on them. Okay, so we know that multiple studies they form the fact or truth. Then so multiple such facts they form the knowledge. Okay, when we make a statement we use simple present tense because see that the evidences they form the facts. So facts have come from the previous studies, and the facts they are not, though they are not absolute facts, so they are experimental facts. So we still use the simple present tense. When we use simple present tense, that doesn't mean that they're happening right now. For example, when we say that stress induces cardiac problems, so that doesn't mean that every minute that stress inducing the cardiac problem. That means that stress induces that cardiac problems means that a statement has come from the evidence, so multiple previous evidences. Okay, so when we write the discussion section, so we have to follow a structure where we also use this simple present tense, where also we use simple past tense and also present perfect tense. Now let us understand why we use all these, and what is the logic behind using them. Okay, for example, when we have to mention about our findings or the observations or the evidences from our experiments. So evidences means the data, raw data. So we use a simple past tense because why? Because so already the experiments were done, so and we have the results already with us. So that's why we use that past tense, simple past tense, to report the findings or the observations from our experiments. Okay, so once we write the evidence, from this evidence we have to make a statement. Though we have a limited number of very limited limited evidences to support to make a statement, still we make a statement. So that means we use simple present tense, like no, this suggests, or this may be it may suggest that, or this may suggest that. So such sentences with simple present tense we use, and we also use very also cautiously we use the language by mentioning suggest or may, because we are not making absolute claims there. So that is the reason. So we start with the simple past tense, then we move to the simple present tense to make a statements. Even in our previous video where I said no, when we want to describe facts, we must use the simple present tense, because they don't change unless a new evidence comes. So until the new evidence comes. So after after writing the meaning of a result in the simple present tense, that means we are interpreting there, that means we are giving the meaning. So when we say we are giving meaning or we are interpreting the result, so that means we are making a statement. That statement is a fact with respect to that particular evidence. So after that we sometimes we may also provide information, that is how that result has come, and also why that result has come. Also we write after interpreting that one. So there also we use simple present tense, because why we use simple present tense is, so that's a fact. So that's why we use the simple present tense to say that no, the process, and also to say that no, how that particular result has come, and also to explain why that particular result has come. For example, when we have a result like that, metals 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 induced stress, oxidative stress, metals induced oxidative stress is reduced by 50%, by 50% under a plant extract treatment. When we say that no, so that is our report. So then from that report we can that is our evidence. From that evidence we can make a statement, we can write a meaning that plant extracts, this plant extract may have antioxidative property, so that that oxidative damage is reduced in the organisms. So such statements we use, we construct by using simple present tense. So such becomes a fact. Then we also explain why that particular result has come, and also by saying that the plant may have some alkaloids or phytochemical constants. These phytochemical constants may trigger the may have this phytochemical constants, and they may trigger the pathways that leads to production of the antioxidative enzymes. So that is the process, or no, that is the way we use the simple present tense to even explain such things. Then we also compare this completely with the already existing literature, where when we say the existing literature, that means where we use present perfect tense. When we use present perfect tense, so we say that previous studies have shown that plants have shown that no, plants regulates the oxidative stress damage in aquatic organisms, or some so and so in some with some statements. So when we say that no, so that indicates that, see, two things here we have to understand. One thing is that no, when we use the present perfect tense, that there is a accumulated knowledge in that. So when we say accumulated knowledge, multiple evidences are there, multiple facts are there, and this all multiple facts has become has become knowledge in that particular field, in for that in that particular context, whatever it may be, oxidative stress or something else, what it may be in that particular context, that may become a stock knowledge in it. And we are trying to connect our evidence to the already existing knowledge. When we connect our results, evidences, or our facts to the existing knowledge, so that our evidences or our facts also become the support for the already existing knowledge, so that that existing knowledge become even more strong, so that becomes more strong. So the reason why we use why we compare literature which is existing already is, one reason is that to say that our results are not completely are isolated. That means there is already a knowledge. So for for that particular knowledge our results belongs to, we are trying to we are trying to we are trying to explain to the readers. Okay, so that is the reason why we compare with. Sometimes there may be not many studies, so when we say there may not be many studies, then that becomes our study is completely novel study. So, and one more thing, to be a completely novel study, it doesn't mean that there must not be any new any previous studies in that particular field. It's not like that. Even when we try to when we work on a particular metal, for example, a copper metal or a zinc metal, so already there may be studies on a different species or at a different concentrations or with the different metals. Okay, whatever our experiments they focus may they so our the focus in our experiments may be different. For example, maybe a different time period, or maybe at a different developmental stage, we our studies may have focused, or different concentration we may have used, or we might have used a different metal, or we might have used a combination of metals. So finally there is a knowledge. So for that knowledge our fact is going to add from our observations. So when our fact joins with the already existing knowledge, so that existing knowledge becomes even more that means that expands. So that means it helps in expansion of the that particular knowledge. So that's why we use this present perfect tense. And also we mention about the implications of this particular result, and also we explain the limitations also. So when we write limitations, we usually write the past tense, because already we explain limitations with respect to the experimental procedure. So since we are talking about the experimental procedure, so we must use the simple past tense mostly and in limitations. And when it comes to the applications, so the applications also we have to use the simple present tense, but with, as I said, no, mostly with the modal verbs, with clear caution in mind what we are telling, because our evidence doesn't form a absolute truth, or a doesn't add to a absolute knowledge. Because whenever new evidences comes, so definitely that facts gets redefined, or gets again they get renewal. Finally the knowledge also gets changed with the new facts. So this is how we use the simple present tense, or the past tense, or the present perfect tense. So even sometimes we may observe simple past tense in when we report the literature, existing literature. So two things here we have to understand when we want to say the knowledge. So knowledge means you know that how that evidence becomes fact, and fact becomes knowledge. When we want to say about knowledge, so or truth, so we may use a present perfect tense. So when we want to say evidences, so suppose sometimes we may try to even show the evidence for all our results. So our results are already evidence, and we try to show that evidence, similar evidences for our results. So in such case we report specific studies from the previous specific studies from the previous researchers. So when we want to just mention the knowledge, or the just a fact, so in such case we may use so when we want to mention a fact, we use the simple present tense. When we want to mention a knowledge, because this knowledge has come from so many studies, even the facts they have come from so many studies, we may use even present perfect tense. But we must understand that when we say the present perfect tense, that means multiple studies are there. When we say that simple present tense, that means this is this fact doesn't change unless the new evidences come. So that's why we use embedded sentences, where we use simple present for simple present tense along with the present perfect. Like the previous studies have shown that stress affects sleep. So there we have embedded sentence, so that means uh, we have um, we have used know that know what a present perfect tense, that means we are trying to connect the past studies with the present relevance. Okay, and also when we say the when we use the present perfect tense, so we are talking about the knowledge, and that knowledge is when we say that it has a relevance, has an effect on the present, that means the same studies are is a suppose no, there may be there may be sentence like that previous studies have shown that mutations causes the cancer. So that doesn't mean that the present studies also they're working they're trying to show that mutations causes cancer, but the present studies they are extending the this knowledge they're extending the knowledge by producing new facts like that, how the mutations comes, or how what are the pathways that are affected by these mutations and all those things. So this is how we frame the research discussion section in a research paper. Thank you.